Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to discuss the another part of the Fastrack series. Right. So here we are going to discuss some important topics. So we'll cover types of risks and some factors covering risks. Right. So here you can see the first risk is operational risk. So what are the things which covered in the operational risks? So first one is there is some examples like human error. We can see human error, technical error, any types of technical error. Human error, it means if something like if someone like Taylor, like who enter, like if some clerical staff has processed or data entered some wrong data and that is verified by the officers, then that will be human error, right? And if technical error, if we have put the some interest and the system has taken another interest, that means some technical error, right? So that will be operational. Next one will be infrastructure. Let me come. So let me first one is human error, technical error. Next one will be some infrastructure issue. Next one will be another one will be faulty systems. And lack of control. Right. So if these are the things, these are the some factors which affects the which are the reasons for the operational risks, right? So next one will be exchange risk. What are the keywords? That is fluctuation in exchange rate. Simple, right? And these operational risks can be cured. That means we can, if we took some more careful, that can be avoided, right? So exchange risk, that is fluctuations in the exchange rate. Simple. Remember this, exchange rate fluctuation, right? So next one will be credit risk. That is the counterparty will not repay. That is default in repayment, we can say, right? So if the counterparty means when bank is the, who is that? Bank is the creditor and the borrower, पकड़ लीजिए A is the borrower, means debtor. That means the counterparty A will not repay the amount to the bank. That case it will be the credit risk, right? This is credit risk. So next one will be some important one, settlement risk. What is that? Settlement risk. So here failure of counterparty during the source of settlement, right? So failure of counterparty during the settlement of the loan. So if the counterparty is unable to pay and there will be some settlement and they will still, during the settlement process, the counterparty will unable to be in the perfect settled conditions, right? So in that will be the settlement risk. Next one will be liquidity risk. What is liquidity risk? That is liquidity issue, asset liability will be mismatched. Simple. There will be liquidity. Liquidity means the asset will be catered and liability, that will be something like should be matched to maintain a proper liquidity, right? But when the asset and the liability in the balance sheet, the asset part and the liability part should be matched. But if this is mismatched, asset and liability is mismatched, in that case the liquidity will affected, and that is called liquidity risk, right? So there is some important one also, something like gap or interest risks, interest rate risks, right? So here for SP, for saving bank account, 5% gap, and for loan account 4% gap is there, right? Market risk, what are the market risks? That is issues in the market. I told you already, like supply and demand, they are the market factors. If this will vary, then it will affect the market, and that will cause market risk. Then next one will be legal risk. What is legal risk? That is some risk related to law, legal processes. This counterparty denies for payment. When the counterparty will be denied, we'll first what we'll do, we'll send one letter, and if still he is unable to do and he is not going to completely denying to pay, then we'll go for something surface. As per the surface act, we'll go for something loco adalat. Still if he is not doing, he's not coming for the settlement, then we'll do something like suit the customer, right? So you can say these are the legal risks. So next one is systematic risk. What is systematic risk? So failure of a big bank, when that is, we can say failure of a big bank, so smaller banks will be sufferer. What do you mean by that? If we consider, let take a, so subsidiaries, if we consider some subsidiaries like if you take some bank is A, they have some subsidiaries, something like P, Q and R. If A bank will affect a loss and will face failure, it happened in America, and in that case it will directly affect the subsidiaries, right? So Q, P, R both all will have also suffer loss. So in that case, that is systematic. See, A is related to B, so in that case you can say this is systematic risk, right? Failure of a big bank, so smaller banks will also suffer due to the failure of their main bank, right? Then next one will be country risk. Means due to the policies of the government, rules, regulations, there will be some changes that will affect the and that will create the risk that is related to the country, that is country risks. So here we can see risk for other country rules due to the country rules and regulations. Country rules, regulations, here these terms can be directly linked with the government policies. What are the government policies they are creating? Like monetary policy, we can say fiscal policy. All those government policies will directly affect the country, and that can make or create country risk, right? So next one can say sovereign risk. What is sovereign risk? You can just have basic idea so that you can easily have some clearance in the module B. So what is sovereign risk? Risk due to own country rules. This is other country. Country risk means other country rules. जैसे कि A is a country, India, and due to changes in other country, USA, whatever the risks will happen, that will be the country risk. And sovereign risk means simple. The basic difference is here other country, here own country, right? Sovereign risk due to the own country rules and regulation changes, right? How country risk will happen? Recently in USA presidential elections will be has been done, right? So in that case, that presidential election, who has been selected, that, and what are the government policies that will affect the some, as the US is somehow business leader, so that will affect some other country. So this is an example of country risk, right? So sovereign risk in India, if the now the India government is there, right? So due to the government changes, if something happen or whatever the government policies, then that will affect the, or that will create sovereign risk due to the own country rules, right? And regulations changes. If the Indian government has come changing some rules or regulations, then that will affect, or that will create sovereign risk, right? So the basic difference country and sovereign is, country risk is due to the other country rules and sovereign risk is due to the own country rules, right? This is the difference, you can easily remember. So this is very important one, that is the types of risks and basic factors. So from this one you can easily have some clarification, you can easily answer some 4 to 5 marks if asked in the exam, some theoretical ones, right? So in the next video we will discuss some important topics till that point. Keep studying and thanks for watching our videos. Thank you.